Hi, everyone. We're just giving maybe just a few seconds for everybody to join in. And is Simon back?
I don't see him.
Yeah, because I know he's signed in and
Yeah. Sorry, Simon was having some trouble with his camera, so he's signed out and will sign in again.
meanwhile, it's good to see everyone.
You see everyone?
Hello.
We're just waiting for Dr. Simon Sigue to log back in, sorry. And hopefully you'll be able to start the meeting.
I believe Simon is in now.
Yeah, my apology. I have some technical problem here. Have we started?
Yes, we were waiting for you, Simon, right on time, and we see you clearly. So the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much. I am Simon Sigue, interim dean in the Faculty of Graduate Study. It is a great privilege to welcome you to this second day of our Black History Month celebration, co-organized for the first time by OXA and the FGS under the theme Celebrating Black Excellence at AU and Beyond. This collaboration marks an important step in our shared commitment to fostering a more inclusive and equitable learning environment at Athabasca University. Before going any further, I would like to acknowledge that or to disclose that I am a first-generation settler in Canada, and I live in 26, particularly in the city of St. Albert in Alberta. As an Athabasca University employee, we all respectfully acknowledge that we live and work on the traditional lands of the indigenous people, Inuit, First Nation Métis of Canada. We honor the ancestry, heritage, and gift of the indigenous people and give thanks to them. I would like now to pass the floor to Dr. Ramses Ilarasa, Acting Vice President Research, to say a few welcome words. Dr. Ramses Ilarasa, please.
Thank you very much. And my gratitude to the Faculty of Graduate Studies and the Athabasca University Graduate Students Association for the invitation to join this meeting, and also for a presentation I'm going to have on the 25th. So I'm very grateful to be part of this event. And as Dr. Sige mentioned, my name is Ramses Ilarraza. I'm the Interim Associate Vice President of Research for AU. And I'm joining from Treaty 6 territory in Edmonton, traditionally known as Amiskwasi, Waskahikan, or Beaver Hill House. I believe spaces like this are very important, not just as a token or as a show of force, but also as spaces where we have the right conversation and also the tough conversations about things that are allowing us or interfering with achieving our goals in life. And I'm very thankful to have been invited to this conversation. And again, I think the presentations today, our guest speaker, Audrey Brown, and the panel that is going to occur later on are going to be critical for my personal understanding as well of your point of view of what research and academic life looks like for your community. So thank you once again, and I'm looking forward to seeing you today, and sorry, on the 25th during the presentation as well. Thank you very much, Simon.
Yeah, thank you, Ramses. Thank you very much for your commitment to supporting graduate study at Athabasca University. And I will now pass the floor to our OXA leadership for the second part of the program.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sigo. My name is Gelare Keshavars, and I'm the president of OXA. Thank you for everyone to be here. So I'm just going to move fast and introduce our first guest speaker, Audrey Brown. Audrey is a proud graduate of Athabasca University's Master Education in Open Digital and Distance Education, graduated in 2022, and a committed advocate for Black excellence, access, and opportunity through education. With over 30 years of experience in adult workplace and distance learning, Audrey's career has spanned frontline technical and leadership roles. She currently serves as a Director of Learning and Development at Lifelong System Canada, leading global blended and remote learning initiatives across Canada, the United States, and the Philippines. And as Program Designer as Phoenix Counseling Service Canada, supporting accessible education for Black and racialized newcomers. Audrey is also the founder of eLearning Education Service, a consultancy focused on human-centered digital learning. Through her work and mentorship, Audrey is committed to advancing Black excellence by expanding access, amplifying voice, and supporting pathways to leadership through education. Audrey, we're so grateful for your time here. I pass the mic to you. Thank you very much.
So much for that wonderful introduction, Gelare. And good day, everyone. Hope everyone have a great
Audrey, we do not see you and your voice is breaking.
day.
I think we've lost Audrey. Audrey, we do not see you or hear you.
Hi, Judy.
Okay, just give me a moment.
I've been
Okay.
having technical
Can you
problems
see me
all
now?
morning as well.
With
And
Teams?
if you can't hear Audrey, maybe get her to turn her video off and it may help with the bandwidth.
Okay, she's back in.
We can see you,
Okay,
Audrey.
perfect. I can hear you. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
can.
You're able to hear me, to see my screen. I am sharing my screen. I'm able to see my screen.
We can see something is loading, possibly,
Um,
but right now we don't see what the screen is.
Mhm. yeah. moment. Technical difficulties, of course. Breaking up a lot. And if you can switch my network and see if that makes a difference.
Sorry, Audrey, I'm wondering if it would be possible for you to make your presentation without sharing your screen. It's like when you start sharing the screen,
Yes, I can do that.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can definitely do that.
Thank you.
Let's do this.
All right.
Technology.
Are you able to hear me, or am I breaking up?
We can hear you clearly now. Yep.
We can hear you
Okay,
very clearly.
perfect.
We
Okay.
can't see you, which is fine.
All right. Okay, so good day again, everyone. I just want to begin by first thanking the Faculty of Graduate Studies and the Athabasca University Graduate Students Association for creating this space, and also for the intentionality behind celebrating Black excellence at AU and beyond. It's truly an honor to be here, not just as a guest speaker,
Okay, we do not hear Audrey
I
again.
rebuke this. Okay. Just give me a quick second, mobile hotspot. I'm going to switch network and see if that makes a difference.
If anyone can fix this, Audrey, it's you.
Yep. And that I will. Just give me a quick second to just do a quick switch and see if that makes a difference.
We can hear you very well now, even if you
Oh,
continue.
perfect.
Continue, please.
I want to thank everybody for their patience. I think we're all used to it, probably since COVID. So giving grace for all the technical difficulties, but the start was really strong though.
Please, are you guys waiting for me?
Yes, you're back on.
No, that's
No,
Paul.
no, we're not. No,
Paul, it's
that's
not your
sorry.
turn yet. Hold on.
Okay.
We'll hear you soon. No, it's Audrey. There was just some technical difficulties and she was switching networks to hopefully have a better delivery.
Maybe you can first turn your computer off and then come back.
I
This
think
is
she
what
was trying to do that.
This is
Yeah.
what I did, and it worked for me.
Yeah. I think she signed off and she's probably back in.
And Gallery, perhaps we can, I'm sure she put a lot of work into her slides, so maybe we can ask her if it's okay we share those afterwards.
Sure, if she cannot share her slides eventually, we will
yeah.
do that. Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Or maybe she can send that to someone who can share that on her behalf.
Mhm.
This is a possibility.
Sure.
Yeah, but for now, let's just
She's back.
She's back in. let's her having the flow. Hi, Audrey, are you back in?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me okay?
Very well.
All right. Okay, let's do this again. I am so sorry about this, but
no worries.
Let me just get my slide back up again. And
We can see your slide.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so again, good day, everyone. Just again, I wanted to just thank the Faculty of Graduate Studies and the Athabasca University Graduate Students Association for creating this space and for the intentionality behind celebrating Black excellence at AU and beyond. It's truly an honor to be here today, not just as a guest speaker, but as a Athabasca University alumna and as a Black woman whose journey has been deeply shaped by this institution. So I just want to share a little about me before I settle into the conversation. So at my core, I am an educator. And I say that with full honesty and a little laughter because I've been doing this work for over 30 years, which means I've seen overhead projectors, VHS tapes, learning management system that won't cooperate, or teams that won't cooperate, okay, and now AI. So yes, I have evolved. So my journey has taken me through adult workspace and distance education, from frontline roles to leadership, and from local classrooms to global virtual space across Canada, the USA, and the Philippines. But throughout all of it, one thing has stayed constant, and that is my belief that education should be accessible, human-centered, and rooted in dignity, especially for Black communities and those who have had to work twice as hard just to get a seat at the table. I didn't just build this career by teaching. I built it by continuing to be a learner. And that's where Athabasca University comes in. Like, my AU journey didn't just fit into my life. It met me where I was and stretched me in ways I didn't even expect. So with that, I want to share what that journey looks like and why it matters. So when I began my Master of Education at Athabasca University, I wasn't following a straight traditional academic path. Like many Black graduate students, I was balancing multiple responsibilities, such as work, family, community commitments, while also carrying questions about whether graduate school was right, realistic, or even a next step for me. Athabasca University offered something that mattered deeply to me at that time. What it offered was access, flexibility, and the possibility of pursuing higher education without having to put my entire life on hold. What I didn't realize then, though, was that I wasn't just enrolling in a program. I was stepping into a space that would challenge how I understood learning, how I understood leadership, and even my own voice. So you see, studying as a Black graduate student, especially in a primarily online environment, came with both affirmation and complexity. For instance, on one hand, distance learning allowed me to show up authentically without constantly navigating physical spaces where Blackness can feel hyper visible or misunderstood. And on the other hand, it required intentional effort to stay connected, to stay engaged, and to stay confident in spaces where sometimes you wonder if your presence is even fully seen. What sustained me was learning to trust that my lived experience mattered. So my perspectives, shaped by culture, community, and history, they were not something to separate from my academic work. They were central to it. That realization changed how I participated, how I wrote, and how I claimed space as a scholar. The program at the Master of Education program at Athabasca didn't just equip me with theoretical knowledge, it strengthened skills I continue to rely on every day. I learned how to think critically, how to engage research with intention, and how to ask better questions. And not just in academic settings, but in professional and community space as well. But perhaps most importantly, I gained confidence in my voice. I stopped waiting for permission to speak, to contribute, or even to lead. I began to see myself not only as a learner, but as a knowledge holder. That shift was subtle, but it was transformative for me. So since graduating in 2022, the foundation I built at Athabasca has continued to shape my professional trajectory. Whether I'm working in education, in leadership, or community-focused spaces, the value of access, equity, lifelong learning remains central to how I show up. So Athabasca reminded me that excellence doesn't require fitting into narrow defined definition of success. It requires clarity of purpose, commitment to growth, and a willingness to bring your whole self into the work that you do. Black excellence, in my experience, it's not about perfection. It's about persistence, impact, and integrity. So, to the Black graduates who may be listed today and who's actually here, I want to offer a few reflections. First thing is, trust your voice. You belong in academic space exactly as you are. So your questions, your are not secondary. They are essential. Second, your journey doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Because there's no one single timeline, no single pathway, and no single definition for success. And finally, seek community whenever you can, even in virtual spaces, because connection actually matters. So find people, find programs, find moments that will remind you that you're not walking this path alone. I'll close by saying this. Black excellence is not rare. It is resilient. It's relational, and it's rising. So ensure that you are not being surprised by Black brilliance, but instead start expecting it. Expecting it in yourself and expecting it in others. Also, you got to note that spaces like this matters because they don't just acknowledge our achievements, they affirm our presence, our histories, and our futures. Okay. So with that said, I am grateful for the leadership of Dr. Sige, Madam President Gallery, and everyone who helped bring this series together. Thank you all for allowing me to share a small part of my journey. I'm deeply grateful to be part of this community, and I look forward to continuing to celebrate Black excellence at Athabasca University and beyond. So again, thank you.
Thank you so, so much, Audrey. Those were such wise words. I have definitely taken down some notes of what you said. And I just want to leave a few minutes here before we get to our panelists. If anyone has any questions for Audrey, the floor is open for that. I guess I should also introduce myself. Hi. Sorry, I didn't do that at the beginning. My name is Kia Buchanan. I am the Vice President Academic with OGSA, and I will be the moderator for your student panel this afternoon. Any questions for Audrey? Or comments of thanks? I do see lots of things in the chat. Very affirming things, Audrey. It was a great talk.
Awesome. Thank you
I
very
have a
much.
question for Audrey.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Go ahead, Paul.
So Audrey, in your journey, combining academic work with for your professional work and family,
Yes.
did you have a moment where you were sort of exhausted? And if you were, what kept you going on?
Yes. Very good question, Paul. Thank you very much. And yes, there were moments when I felt like, oh my gosh, can I do this? When I have deadlines at work to do and assignments to do. And one of the major things that I actually used to get me through all the commitments that I had was to combine them. So my assignments in school was a project that I selected from work, right? And so it wasn't just about I need to get through my master's degree. It was also that I actually have to deliver on something in the real world. And so that was a drive because it had purpose at the end. And of course, family being there to cheer you along. You can do this is a big factor. So that connection that I spoke about, having that group of individuals around you is very vital and pivotal to your success and to my success.
Thank you.
You're so welcome, Paul.
Absolutely, Audrey. Community and family really do drive us to achieve great things. Thank you so much, Audrey. I know your time with us is limited today, but I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to bring your perspectives as an alum and as a Black woman who has completed their graduate studies. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Kia. Thanks, everyone.
So we are just going to move on to our student/recent alumni panel. And we have several graduate students, recent grads that are joining us this afternoon. And I will read out and they'll each have 5 minutes to just talk about their work or their study focus. And then we'll get into some questions for the panel. and I'll just read out their bios one at a time as they go through their work. So we're going to begin with Paul. So Paul Aka is a graduate student and a cybersecurity professional, student leader with a strong commitment to academic excellence, community engagement, and the responsible use of technology in public service. He is a Master of Science student in Information Systems, and a program that he's found both intellectually challenging and professionally transformative. He works as an information security officer with the government of Alberta, where he contributes to protecting critical information systems and supporting secure digital transformation across public sector environments. Paul currently serves as an OGSA Council member from the Faculty of Science and Technology. And in this role, he is committed to representing graduate student voices, strengthening communication between students and the university leadership, and contributing to initiatives that enhance the graduate student experience. Beyond academics and professional life, Paul is a devoted husband and father. He balances studies and career and leadership responsibilities with family life in Edmonton. So over to you, Paul.
Thank you, Kia, for introducing me. So one small thing. Oh, sorry, my phone is buzzing. Can you please, Kia, go to the next person, please?
Yeah, sure. I
Yeah.
can, and we can come back to you. Not a problem.
Okay.
Okay. So then we will come back to Paul, but we can move on to it's Shala, right? Or is it Shayla?
Yes, Shala. you're right.
Shala, thank you. Shala Ali. So Shala is originally from East Africa and currently lives in Toronto, Ontario, and she's one of our newbies. She's enrolled in her first semester at the Master of Nursing program and works full-time as a registered nurse. Shala is strongly dedicated to advocating for marginalized communities, equitable healthcare, and incorporating cultural aspects into her nursing practice. Her academic and professional goals are to advance holistic care and amplify the voices of minorities, as well as addressing systemic racism in our healthcare systems. So Shala, please share a little bit about your journey thus far and your interests in graduate study.
Hi, everyone. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the admins for inviting me to participate in this inspiring discussion that honors Black achievement, resilience, continuation of the influence of Black professionals in the nursing and the healthcare. And yeah, so my name is Shala Ali. I live in Toronto, Ontario, but I'm originally from Kenya in East Africa. So this is my first semester in Athabasca University. I'm doing Master of Nursing, and I'm also working as a full-time RN. My dedication is to advocate for marginalized communities and making sure that everybody's getting equitable healthcare. Um, yep. For my academic and professional goals, as Kia mentioned, is to advance holistic care, amplifying, the voices of the minorities, and to make sure that they're being listened. On top of that is addressing systemic racism in the healthcare system, which you guys have mostly witnessed in our Canadian healthcare system. Yeah, that's it from my end. Do you guys have any questions?
We will certainly have our general questions for the panel, but thank you so much for bringing those highlights to us, and welcome to Graduate Study. Our next panelist is Dr. Stephanie Buchanan, no relation, or at least we don't think so. Dr. Buchanan holds a Doctor of Education degree, and her doctoral research focused on developing a conceptual framework to inform culturally tailored chronic disease self-management programs for older Black adults. Her work is grounded in social justice, health equity, and patient advocacy. Stephanie is a senior manager of equity, diversity, and inclusion, and a guideline development methodologist at the Registered Nurses Association of Ontario, RNAO, and she provides strategic leadership in advancing equity and anti-racism informed approaches across nursing practice policy and guideline development. With her 30 years of experience, Stephanie is a seasoned nurse leader with expertise in professional practice, education, and advanced-based program development. She is currently co-leading the development of a landmark RNAO best practice guideline addressing anti-Black racism in nursing. Over to you, Dr. Stephanie Buchanan.
Thank you. Thank you, Kia. Thank you for inviting me, and it's a pleasure for me to be here. As Kia mentioned, I am a recent graduate of Athabasca University, just finished my doctoral degree and graduated in June. So it's a very, very, very fresh. Just really don't have any slides prepared per se, but just, wanting to talk to everybody a little bit about my journey. It's quite a convoluted journey, actually. As Kia mentioned, I am a nurse of 30 years. And what I like to say is at this stage of my career, I'm in the passion phase. And so I've discovered a lot about myself. I've discovered that I love being a nurse, but I also love teaching. And over the years of nursing, my passion for teaching grew and drew me to just continue my studies, not only in nursing, but also jointly in education. And so when I decided to do a graduate degree, I actually chose to do one in education because I was doing a lot of education in nursing and wanted to delve a little bit deeper into open and distance education. So jointly passionate about nursing and about education. My topic was just very, very much focused and grounded and rooted in equity, again, just because of how things unfolded in nursing for me and the gaps that I saw in nursing, working primarily in healthcare, in community care, I should say. I noticed a lot of gaps in the older Black adult population as it relates to chronic disease self-management. And so as a nurse, we spent a lot of time out in communities supporting individuals with chronic disease and teaching self-management. So a big part of being a nurse, as many of you may know, is teaching. It's informal teaching. It's not teaching in a classroom. It's teaching at the bedside, teaching wherever you can teach. Teaching in a hallway, teaching sometimes in a classroom. I taught in many classrooms. I taught in academic institutions. And so, my journey has been marked by this sort of duality and also this real passion to support the Black community. In terms of my experience at Athabasca University, it's quite convoluted. I did have to put my studies on hold for a little while, but I was with a very wonderful cohort. And there was two of us that were from the Black community, and I really did feel supported. I didn't feel isolated. I felt like it was quite a welcoming sort of mixed interprofessional group with only one person that looked like me, but many people that were from different equity deserving populations. So my experience was wonderful, and it culminated in the fact that when I decided that I wanted to do this topic, my supervisor, Dr. Deborah Hoban, was very, very supportive. And so, I just wanted to share that with folks. It's been a wonderful journey, although largely virtual. I felt that with this university, the outlook and perspective of the university was very much focused on equity deserving populations because it was about making sure that education was accessible. That's really sort of a summary. I know I've only got about 5 minutes, and I know that there'll be an opportunity to answer questions. I hope I've given you enough information, but again, it's a pleasure to be here. And please, if you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you so much, Steph. That was great. Paul, have you had an opportunity to return?
Yes.
Okay,
I
great. So
apologize to everybody. As I'm speaking with you, I also had some meetings at workplace. So you gave everybody a good summary of everything that is about me. What I am really passionate about is education. My my parents were teachers, and they drilled into us the need to educate yourself constantly and daily. So I she talked a lot about myself, so I won't take a lot of time so that to you all the students that are on this platform will have questions to ask us the panel leaders. So my name is Paul. I'm originally from Ghana. I came to Canada, I think, in 2009, and it was a blessing that I joined Athabasca University. It has opened so much doors in my life. It has made me meet so much people, and I would like to encourage all the students that are here that even though there's a lot of challenge in combining family life, professional work, and studies, but don't give up. Keep on pushing to the end. So I will give it back to you, Kia, please.
thank you so much, Paul. Those are wise words for sure. Definitely getting to meet a lot of people that we normally wouldn't in a brick and mortar institution, and yeah, definitely opening doors and connections. I've definitely found, like, even this series, 3 people I want to approach to be my new best friend. So this has been a great experience so far. Okay, so our next panelist is Isaac. Isaac Okave Alote is a doctoral student with a background in finance, infrastructure, and transaction advisory across North Africa and North America. Sorry, across Africa and North America. He currently serves as a director at the Mischle Capital Capital and Advisory Partners Incorporated, a firm providing strategic financial and transaction advisory services to the public and private sector clients in emerging markets. Isaac previously worked with organizations such as Deloitte and EY and Afrex, Afrex Bank and the International Finance Corporation, IFC, a member of the World Bank Group. Where he gained exposure to infrastructure and private sector development initiatives. He holds an MBA in finance and is based in Canada. His doctoral research examines Africa's infrastructure financing paradox, focusing on global north-south dynamics and enterprise risk management and early-stage project development. Isaac's work bridges academic inquiry and lived professional experience with a strong interest in leadership, equity, and knowledge production within the global systems. Over to you, Isaac.
All right, thanks, Kia. Yeah, so actually, it's Afrexim Bank. It's a pleasure to be here today, celebrating Black Excellence. And I want to also say a very big thank you to the organizers, as well as the leadership, of the graduate school. And it's also quite interesting to have learned, the leadership and headed by Dr. Seaman himself is also Black. I mean, one of the things about Black excellence, whenever it comes to mind, is I think it's always it stands out to see a Black person, excel in whatever field, because we go through a lot more challenges than any traditional ethnicity will go through sometimes to excel. And also particularly in my area of research, if you look at infrastructure, Blacks go through a lot of hurdles and challenges in infrastructure, in their day-to-day lives. If this core was somewhere in Africa, we would have had power cuts, we would have had severe internet challenges. So there's a lot more hurdles that I feel the Black community goes through in order to achieve excellence. And that's also one of the reasons why I'm also focused on infrastructure, which is the base for every economy. I mean, starting my career working with the Global North institution like the IFC of the World Bank Group, I could appreciate from various case studies how Europe had built its economy and the country using capital to structure their the development of their infrastructure, and then also having moved to Canada, living here, actually comparing the infrastructure base in Africa compared to the global north. I think there's a vast difference, and you also see that mainly because of the capital available at both let's say continents. So Africa definitely does have a lot of challenges. The global north also does have a lot of challenges, but global north challenges are more bridged because of capital, and Africa still has that vast gap in terms of finance and its infrastructure. And interestingly, like I did say as well, most of the capital that flows to Africa comes from the global north. And as it stands today, there's more capital than projects. However, Africa still is behind in terms of its infrastructure development. The question is why? So it's based on that paradox, which spurs my interest in terms of why is it that there's funds available to close this infrastructure gap, but then we are still not able to do that. And is the reason in terms of studying deeper to understand the risk dynamics in terms of the early stage project preparation as well as execution. Particularly for Athabasca, it was something in terms of giving me the flexibility to be able to still work and study, like what was said earlier by Audrey. You don't have to put your life on hold, because I also travel between both continents very often. So if I was pretty much based in the classroom, it would have really been a challenge for me. It also comes with its challenges, as Audrey has mentioned. But in fact, it's also surprising to know that we have such a big community of Black students in Athabasca. I didn't even know that, right? So it's a pleasure to be here to connect with you all and to hear some of the experiences that you've all lived and shared. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Isaac. Yes, I agree. Pulling this event really helps, and under the leadership of Dr. Sige to help bring us all together and add that visual and representation aspect, so we know that we are not alone in our graduate studies, for sure. Thank you. So our next panelist is Judy. Judy M. Parnell is a Master of Education candidate in Open Digital and Distance Education, ODDE, drawing from her professional background in technology and project management, her personal journey as a person with chronic pain. She focuses on bridging educational gaps in pain management and cannabis for therapeutic uses, so CTP. Her research explores how mobile learning, M-learning, microlearning, and edutech can provide learner-focused, interactive, equitable, and evidence-based, as well as patient-centered e-learning and resources for the 6.3 million Canadians living with chronic pain. Judy's work emphasizes inclusivity for marginalized groups and aims to enhance health-related quality of life through innovative digital platforms. Over to you, Judy. Oh, Judy's also our VP External. She did not put that in her bio. She is also with Oxfam and is our VP External, works on a lot of external advocacy at the government, provincial and federal government levels. Thank you so much, Judy. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, my journey is probably slightly different than everyone else's. When I went through high school, I did horribly. In fact, I decided that I didn't fail anything, but I just scraped by. So I decided to do my last 3 credits through what was called distance education at that time. You know, the mailing in the booklets and the sitting with a proctor, that kind of thing. And something strange happened. I ended up on the honors list for completing my courses. And the reason why I mention this is because it really showed me that, okay, something's not right here. It turns out that I'm actually smarter than I thought I was. So as a result of that, I decided to take a chance, go to college, and I lucked out by finding an amazing professor who discovered that I have a learning disability, dyslexia. So that was why I was having so many problems. So basically, she put me in front of a computer. Actually, she got me into this particular, I had a particular center for this. So she put me in front of a computer, gave me some extra time, and I skyrocketed. I finished a 3-year and a 2-year program in 2.5 years on the dean's list. And I know it's not about the marks, it's just the matter of achievement. I know what it feels like as a student to not be able to feel like you could do it. So education has been powerful for me. Ever since then, I've just continued to learn, lifelong learning, and continue to take more and more courses. I guess something else that's really important as opposed to in regards to Black excellence is as a child, I was born in Toronto. However, I was raised up north in the country, very waspy. And I never had a chance as a child to understand what Black excellence was or what being Black even meant. My mother was well intended, but she couldn't relate. She blonde hair, blue eye. So as much as she tried, it was rather challenging. So it wasn't until growing up and starting to go to college that I got involved with the Peterborough Race Relations Committee. I eventually was nominated as one of 27 reps for the Ontario Racial Minority Organizing Committee of Training. So things had progressed. I had a consulting company. I was doing really well, and then I got sick. I found out that I had a rare form of it's a blood cancer. I'm doing great now. I still have it. I'll be monitored the rest of my life. But as a result of that, I ended up with chronic pain. And through my own journey, I realized that the majority of the resources were actually for healthcare professionals and not actually for the people going through it. It's getting a little better now. However, it still doesn't incorporate the edutech to make things more personalized and interactive. There's ways that we can do education that is much more effective, quite honestly. So that has been why I ended up, when I returned to AU, focusing my journey on digital education and how edutech can kind of inform and help improve not only for the delivery, people delivering the training, but also for the actual students. So that has been my focus. That's a bit about me.
And what a great focus that is. Thank you so much, Judy. Your contributions to scholarship and then also for the end user, really, right? So we want to focus on both those things. Thank you. Okay. Next we have Kimberly. Is it Jean or Jean?
Jean.
Jean, okay. Kimberly Jean Farons. So Kimberly is an executive director at Observatoire en Immigration Francophone au Canada, OIFC, and is associate professor at Université l'Ontario Français, UOF. She has over 15 years of experience in the community engagement with a strong track record of advancing equity, diversity, and inclusion in Canada's immigration sector. She's also a doctoral student in the Business Administration DBA program. Kimberly holds her MBA from Australian Institute of Business, and she graduated in 2021 and has extensive experience in teaching, knowledge mobilization, and organizational capacity building. Her leadership is characterized by cultural competence and stakeholder collaboration, and enabling her to secure funding and lead transformative initiatives. She teaches management courses, mentors students, and actively contributes to academic and community networks like she's doing today. And in addition to her professional and academic roles, Kimberly is an avid runner and is currently training for her first marathon. Over to you, Kimberly.
Thank you so much. Could you promote me as a presenter so I can share my screen? So I have a few slides.
Absolutely. Oh, were we able to, Corinne, were we able to do that? Oh, sure.
All right. All good? You're able to see it? Perfect.
Yes, we are. Thank you.
I admit I was a little bit scared with the technological issues. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really honored to be part of this panel for Black History Month, and I'm really happy to join this conversation today. I'll be joining from Ottawa, from non-ceded Anishinaabe territory. So I'd like to begin by situating myself briefly. So I speak today as a Black immigrant woman and a scholar practitioner in management studies. My positionality is shaped by intersecting identities of race, gender, and migration, and these experiences influence how I think about organizations, leadership, and learning. Across my work and my research, I'm deeply interested in contributing to environments that critically engage with dominant organizational models while centering diverse perspectives. So today, I'm not going to speak about a specific research project. Instead, I'm using this opportunity to reflect on a concept that deeply interests me and that continues to shape much of my thinking, and it's the concept of resilience. All right, resilience is a word we use often, especially when talking about Black history and Black communities. It's almost reflexive, but resilience is also a very broad construct, and it means different things depending on who's defining it and in what context. So in the literature, resilience is sometimes framed as a trait. Other time it is understood as a process, something dynamic, relational, something shaped by environments and access to resources. Resilience is also described as an outcome measured by recovery or adaptation after adversity. And increasingly, resilience is now being understood as a capacity. So not only for individuals, but for communities and institutions. So these distinctions matter, particularly during Black History Month, because Black resilience is often spoken about as if it were inherent, something naturalized rather than contextual. So Black populations in Canada are extraordinarily diverse. People trace their origin to more than 180 countries. And of course, this diversity is a strength, but it also means that resilience is being exercised across very different linguistic, cultural, and institutional contexts. So historically, resilience was essential to Black survival. Through colonialism, segregation, forced migration, and exclusion, resilience was not optional. It was collective. It was expressed through mutual aid, through culture, language, creativity, and resistance. So Black resilience has never been passive. It has always been active, building, protecting, and imagining futures under constraint. But Black History Month also invites us to ask what resilience has been asked to carry and who has been relieved of responsibility because of it. So in contemporary institutions, including universities like Athabasca, resilience is often assumed of Black people. When students persist, we assume systems are working. When people remain calm or silent, we assume they are coping well. But endurance is not the same as well-being, and survival is not the same as flourishing. This is particularly relevant in a learning environment like Athabasca University. Distance education opens door for many Black learners, adult learners, newcomers, parents, working professional, but it can also render struggle invisible. And so when resilience is framed only as an individual trait, institution may unintentionally overlook the structural conditions shaping learners' experiences. So reflecting on resilience during Black History Month means shifting the question, not asking how resilient Black individuals are, but asking how resilient our institutions are, how responsive they are, how willing they are to adapt, and how committed they are to creating conditions where resilience is supported rather than presumed. So resilience in that sense is not something to be extracted from people, but it's something that must be cultivated collectively. That's what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. You can continue. We're all listening. That was great, though. That was great. Thank you so much. Okay, and rounding out our panel today is Lee Tasha Smith. So Lee her work sits at the intersection of equity, mental health, and organizational systems. Her research focuses on cultural competence, anti-racism, and systems level change within psychology and education. Lee's thesis examined the racialized experiences in psychological training and service delivery, and how institutional practices shape access to care for marginalized communities. She recently contributed to a textbook, School Counseling in Canada, a comprehensive guide, and advancing critical conversations on the culturally responsive practice, as well as equity-informed approaches to school counseling. Currently, Lee attends and supports equity, diversity, and inclusion initiatives through an organizational psychology lens. Her work centers on psychological safety, anti-racism, and accessibility, and systems level change, helping organizations move beyond performative EDI towards a sustainable practice. And she's involved in policy review, leadership development, equity data initiatives, and culture building efforts that prioritize lived experiences and accountability. And Lee Tasha completed her Master's of Counseling in 2023. Over to you, Lee.
Yeah, thank you, Kia. And just so I'm clear, am I just talking about my research and my experience here at Athabasca?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I know I kind of gave a synopsis of what I did here, but so thankful to be invited. So hi, everyone. My name is Lee, also known as Lee Tasha. And so I actually had the privilege of doing a very unique research. I actually got to do an institutional ethnography with Dr. Emily Doyle, which is, I believe she's still here right now. And it was such an amazing experience because I think initially when I came into this work, it was like I would want to see more representation of Black psychologists across Canada. And then when I did my master's and then I went on to do my practicum, it became very apparent no matter all the training and all the reading that I did, it was very apparent very quickly what I was learning, no offense to Athabasca, was not translating very well to everyday practice. And so working with Emily really did an institutional ethnography to really understand how this came to be. And so instead of looking at is this just experiences? People are saying it's not accessible. We're looking at not individual experiences, but the systems that people sit in. And so that's what the actionable change. And so did an institutional ethnography and really highlighted the considerations, both from my standpoint as a Black student, and then also all the literature that speaks to accessibility for psychological support for Black people. So it was a really amazing experience. I miss Athabasca. So it's really great to hear all the amazing work that's been happening amongst the different departments as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lee. Yes, it's been great to hear you know, the levels of involvement and the depth and onto the minutia, you know, talking about specific patient concerns all the way up to the ethnographics system level change and all the broad strokes in different areas that all of our graduate students and recent grads have focused on in their care and their research. So this part of the event brings us to opportunity to give panelists a chance to respond to some questions. And feel free, if you have some specific questions, either for the panelists as a group or any panelists in particular, feel free to drop that in the chat and we can address those as well. But just to get us kind of started, some of you did speak to this, but if anyone wants to expand on this question, let us know what drew you to Athabasca AU for graduate studies specifically. So that way we can kind of learn from those experiences. So this is open to all of the panelists. Thank you. Go ahead, Judy.
As I mentioned, that I've immersed myself in technology, love education. And when I learned about Athabasca, that they were taking both concepts and creating the online digital distance ed, that's when I thought, okay, I need to try this. So I took one course, fell in love, and kept going. But that's what drew me, is just the focus on being able to combine those two areas.
Beautiful. Would any other panelists like to expand on their draw to AU for graduate studies?
Yeah, so I think I would do that. So I think at the time we had just, because we came to Canada in 2024, and unfortunately once we settled, I was deployed on a diplomatic assignment to Egypt. So it was now thinking, okay, we're in Canada, we need to settle how. So in terms of retooling, because coming back from Africa, you need to then integrate the system. So I couldn't then be here physically. Then which other way was there to understand, especially for the area of experience and research that I wanted to do as well. So Athabasca came up as one of the preferred options by a friend who recommended. I think he had done his undergrad as well, and the flexibility he talked about. So it's been very good for me. That's why, and I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it sounds like there's definitely a theme here we were talking about in terms of accessibility and flexibility, and trusting our community. So, even just having a friend to say, hey, this is a good start for us, and this is how it worked well for me. Wonderful, wonderful, Aksak. Lee, did you want to contribute?
Actually, it was captured very beautifully. I would hope that we were able to talk to a couple of other questions. So
yeah, sure, absolutely. Absolutely. So our next question is, so in the context of your Black identity, what are one or two things you wish you had known prior to your studies at AU? Yes, Lee, go ahead.
Yes, I'll speak to this one. For me, I didn't realize how isolating it could be. I know Audrey was speaking to it. Again, I was in a mostly remote learning environment, and when you look at sometimes even the low picture on Teams, or if you're in a classroom setting and you're trying to navigate and see, is there anyone that looks like me, anyone from the same culture? I was it happened very quickly. There wasn't anyone that looked like me in my program, and it was extremely isolating, and I didn't mentally prepare myself for that. And then also, especially with wanting to go on and do my PhD, the importance of building out community from the start and from the beginning, and having allies. It doesn't necessarily have to be a person that looks like me. I feel like there's a lot of invisible work as a Black person navigating in these programs. And so building community from the beginning, I'm glad I found my community towards the end, but I felt like if I knew that, I think my experience would have been a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. And Judy. Oh, you're just on mute, Judy. Sorry.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I would definitely agree about building community and finding your people. But I think also in understanding and recognizing the importance of being Black and being a graduate student and how we are actually very unique, surprisingly, and that, we all have something that we could share and give to the community. But that's something that I would suggest is just understanding our own Blackness, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, coming from a space of self-awareness and understanding. Mm-hmm. Yes, Isaac.
Yeah, so like I'd say, for a Black person to excel, it becomes a lot of challenges, right? Similarly, for a program like this, in fact, to be honest, my expectation was we're going to have, even though it's online, have a course, the models present, more like tutor you in the class. I was expecting more engagement, like Lee said, in terms of teams. But and I appreciate it was a bit of a self-study, but because I got the impression there were weekly discussions, weekly engagements, but that was a very big disconnect. And when that happens, like we say, you also live in life, work, family. Sometimes you can just forget yourself, and you disconnect. So that was to me something that I wish there was a bit more orientation about the nature of the online program that Athabasca runs, and maybe a community like this, that could peer you to someone to properly orient you. Because, like I did say, a Black person's experience is different, right? Because we know our unique challenges. So if you're peered, it helps you kind of appreciate what you're signing up to beyond the traditional orientation you get from the course directors. Yeah.
Definitely. Peers and community. Yes, definitely a big theme coming out of today. And the next question we have is, what surprised you most? For those of you who are near completion or have completed your graduate studies, what surprised you most about being a Black student researcher at AU? Yes, Kimberly.
Yeah, I can get started on that one. I think there's been quite a bit of research on the experiences of Black undergraduate students or doctoral students, etc. And our challenges and the systemic barriers that we face have been well documented. But it's one thing to read about it and to know about it, but then you become a graduate student and you get to live those challenges. It's very different. And I think, again, engagement with other Black students and having mentors can support that or can facilitate the discovery of that harsh reality. That's what I can say about this question.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Kimberly.
Yeah, I think I'll contribute to that.
Sure.
Research is primarily based on data. And that Kim said, sometimes, especially if then your focus case studies in an area as Africa, you don't have a lot of data, and even data that is well structured. So when even looking for literature reviews, when looking for other case studies, is you have to really, really, really dive deeper. And then also looking at others who've done similar in your field as a Black person, because it's very limited. So it's one of the things that came, it's very surprising. So that's why I was also very happy to see that there are a lot more Blacks in doing research and putting out papers, and with time, we can begin to have a lot more thought leaders, within certain fields driven by Blacks, and make more data available as literature reviews for any other person in future.
Yeah, I think that is exceptionally important to have us on the research side, and not just as the participants of that and the data points collected from us as a community, for sure. I'm a nurse practitioner student, and in our studies, it's strongly recommended to choose Canadian resources and Canadian research over others around the world, as if bodies are different elsewhere. But anyway, but to choose that Canadian research in contributing to our assignments, and that has that definitely lacks. So like Isaac is saying, you go deep into it, and I do my best to try to find those resources that are about equity-seeking groups, marginalized communities, and really try to incorporate that and bring it back to the light for my cohort, so they can see that, yes, Black boys in Toronto are doing this, and Black women in Alberta are doing this, and that kind of thing. And so that way, that information doesn't get just buried and lost, and we can all learn from those stories. Judy, and then I think Ella also had her hand up. Go ahead, Judy.
This was sort of touched on, but what surprised me personally, and this could be just like I said, a personal thing, was the lack of individuals that were like me, that came from the same backgrounds, or, when you're having these discussions that have the same relating backgrounds, like dealing with racism and so forth. That surprised me that there wasn't more. But yeah.
Gala, sorry, did you have something to?
Thank you. I just wanted to, it's amazing to listen to all of this. I am just sharing my takeaways. Kimberly talked about resilience and the different shapes that it can get. I just never thought of resilience as like flexibility, resilience as a skill, as a so many things that you just talked about, and I so appreciate that. And what Isaac said, I'm a doctoral student at the D program, and part of my research is Africa. And what you're saying about data, I have been thinking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, that the rigor is questioned sometimes, but the availability, the accessibility, and back to Kia was saying, I can see that whatever comes out of Canada is nobody goes into it with a toothpick, but whatever research that I bring from Africa, then I have to kind of defend it. And then I have lived in that context. I mean, I know some of it, and it's very, very important to increase access, to talk more about it, bring it to our research papers, bring it to our proposals, make sure we have diversity of names, point of views, context. It's very important. And you said something else, all of you said about community that you didn't, I think Lee mentioned it as well, Shala mentioned it. Maybe that's something for OXA to think about. I think it's very important that maybe when you start the courses, OXA needs to be there a little bit more, bring this community together, so you can actually find, full disclosure, Audrey was my classmate, was my study buddy during my master course. And that's how I know her. And I brought her in, and then the community, we created a better community. Maybe it was I don't know, doctoral courses are more lonely. Master courses can be a little bit more of a social place. So a lot for me to take away. Thank you very much. And that's all I wanted to say. Thanks. Back to Kia.
Thanks, Hilary. Okay, just to and noticing the time. Oh yeah, go ahead, Judy.
Can I ask why you think, Gela, that masters would be more of a social? Is it because we do more forums and so forth? Or because I haven't found that. I'm just curious.
I think it was my personal maybe experience. The names came up,
Right.
Dr. Hoven came up, different names came up. I think the professors, and we had maybe closer kind of interest during doctoral courses. We go in a wider direction. Maybe that is what it was.
Interesting. I like that.
But doctoral courses are amazing too. I think maybe I was just younger.
Younger, more social. That's okay. So just in reflecting the time and noticing our session is coming to a close, I would just ask the panelists just one more question. Where do you hope your work takes you next, and you know, what opportunities would you like to share with this group and with other graduate students? I can just go in reverse order if no one wants to say. Okay, Julie, go ahead.
I don't mind sharing. I've actually been working on starting up a consulting company again. So just putting my energy towards finishing my research and then getting into my company. So it's called Sankofa Research and Instructional Design. And Sankofa is a symbol from Ghana that means basically learning from your past to move on with your future. So that's where my direction is heading.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it's good to have two Ghanaians here then.
And Lee?
Yeah, for me, I forgot when I was doing my spiel about my research. I actually thank Athabasca all the time, and Emily is amazing. I know she was in the chat. Huge advocate, great ally. Athabasca actually brought me back. And we actually when I was doing my research, I specifically did my institutional ethnography on the course that I was in. And so based on all my findings from my research, Athabasca actually invited me back to revise one of the courses that I was critiquing. And you don't hear that often, especially from universities. And I felt like it was a very great way to take action and show that, like, hey, we messed up, but we want to do better. And so that actually started my, Judy, as you said, consulting. I ended up starting doing consulting after I was invited, and Emily and I rewrote that course. It just took me down a whole nother pathway with regards to looking at spaces and what does that mean. So I created a consulting business known as Creating Spaces, and it's basically driven to around psychological safety. What considerations are missing, especially when it comes for racialized people. And so I've been doing that with companies and other learning institutions. So it's so great that, like, it started with Athabasca. Athabasca gave me my first opportunity, and then now I'm going on and continuing that work elsewhere across Canada. So yeah.
That's fantastic. That is so great. Awesome. Any other panelists would like to share about their future directions and opportunities?
So I think I can go. So yeah, I think with this course, the literature and also my area of practice, just like all the others, setting up a consulting practice here, but specifically establishing the fund, and that fund is in terms of helping bridge the risk of projects, infrastructure projects that make them more bankable to capital from North America, in terms of then creating that global North, global South kind of collaboration. Yeah.
Oh, amazing work. Amazing, amazing work. And Shala and Kim, any final comments from either of you?
Sure, I can go. Yeah, for me, it's doing good research, research that can inform policy and practice.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Not research for research's sake, but making things that are actionable, for sure. Shala, any final thoughts from yourself? And then we'll go to Corinne.
Yeah, I think for me it's mostly like empowering, and support Black students as we work together to make sure that we foster, a safer and more inclusive community for everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Building that community, strengthening that community, just supports everyone and all of our graduate students and beyond. Corinne.
I'm going to be the shameless plug from the Faculty of Graduate Studies. This is where I'm located, and saying I'm looking forward to seeing your contribution to the upcoming Graduate Student Research Conference in the fall. So all this beautiful research, and also if as an alumnus as well, don't be shy to reach out to us. If we're always looking for speakers as well. This is going to be our 15th anniversary. So shameless plug in advance to seeing some of you contribute to the really varied and diverse voices. And I'm so, so glad to see this community. It's been a long journey. So I just wanted to put that 2 cents. And feel free also to reach out to us. I mean, easy to locate. I'm at the Faculty of Graduate Studies. We're part of a team, small and mighty. So we're all here to support you all.
Thank you so much for that shameless plug. It's not so shameless. It's really important. That's the other major event that AGSA and FGS collaborate on in the fall is our research conference. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate all of your reflections and the time you've taken, your highlights on the accessibility of the education we can receive, but also highlighting how this online environment can be isolating, and the pleasant surprise that is this group that represents many Black students within our graduate study area. And I will turn the mic over to Dr. Ramses to provide our closing remarks. Dr. Ramses.
Thank you. And once again, thank you for the opportunity to speak here. I have learned so much through these presentations, and I'm very appreciative of all the work that has gone into it, and all the insight that you have. As you can probably tell by this over here, and something that is close to my heart is research, but along with it is students and trainees and early career researchers. I have a very special place for them. And this has been a great opportunity to hear from your stories, hear from your experience, and learn from it. And a common theme that arose was Athabasca is a great place to come and study. It provides multiple opportunities to grow. And there are also intrinsic barriers that come with this online environment that we're living in, and being seen and not seen at the same time. So that's something that we can do better. And thank you for sharing that. The presentation by Audrey, there was a line that resonated with me, and it kind of resurfaced again later on. Work twice as hard. The Black students or the Black community has to work twice as hard just to get a seat at the table. It's incredibly depressing to be in 2026 and still have to realize that this is a constant across multiple groups, but in particular for the Black community. Here's my shameless plug. I will invite you to my presentation on the 25th, where I'm going to touch on some of these points. So thank you for that. I do agree with the sentence of "you belong here," and you belong here, and here means every space is where you have something to say. And please feel free and empowered. We will do whatever we can. I'm representing two aspects of life. I'm representing myself as a person who's learning through this, but I'm also representing the institution to some aspects. And whatever we can do to make your journey better is going to be a effort well spent or well invested. One common topic that came up through the panel was education, the value of education, but also the interest in educating others. I think that the Black community has shown a lot of interest in sharing experiences and engaging with other individuals within and outside of their community to make them understand the impact that the actions have on others, but also the value of the diversity and the great creative ideas and the great understanding that you have of life that enriches every space that you join. So thank you for that. And I'm gonna take some of these notes home, and I'm gonna try to resurface some of this in my presentation. Once again, I'm very thankful to OXA and to the Faculty of Graduate Studies, Gelore, Kia, Simon. It's been a great opportunity for me to learn more about it and try to be more proactive. And thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ramses. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Shala. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Lee. And thank you to Audrey and Steph. Did I miss anyone? I don't think so. No, okay. I think I got everyone. Thank you so much. Gelore has, and Dr. Ramses has talked about it a lot. The 25th is our next event, so please, please, please sign up and join us there. Thank you to all of our panelists for your contributions today, and I wish you all a wonderful afternoon. Take care.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.